Hi everybody, happy Thursday night. Welcome to my live. If you are catching me live, please say hi. And if you're catching me in replay, go ahead and type replay. This is our first evening live of the new year. So happy new year to everybody. If you did not catch my live earlier this week on the skincare tip I was giving, go ahead and watch that later. And check your inbox because your Blended Beauty by Sarah newsletter hit your inbox today and you can watch that video in there as well. Hi Linda, hi Jamie. How are you ladies? So tonight's topic is an eye makeup tip specifically for women over 40. And the reason why I wanted to show this tip to you is because I'm talking about skincare for women over 40 this month, but there's often makeup tips that really are helpful with eyes that are aging. Okay, let's just call it that, eyes that are aging. Now listen, a lot of times I hear from women, they'll say, Sarah, what do I do about the crepiness around my eye area? Or what do I do about putting makeup on the eye area and I don't want to look older? So there's a couple things you can do to help prevent that. Now, this is not a one-size-fits-all tip, so to speak, but everybody can do it. So even if you're not 40, this is totally something you can do with your makeup. But if you're noticing certain things happening to your eyes, like I don't know if you can see this in my eye, but this eye here is dropping faster than this eye is on this side. It drives me crazy. So I'm sure you analyze yourself the same way, right? So there's something called a naturally hooded eye, which would be a hooded eye that you're born with, okay? And you can't do anything about it, right? It's just how you're born. And typically the best way to know if you have a hooded eye is if you open your eye and you don't see any of your lid when you open it. That just means your whole lid goes back into your eye socket, okay? So that would be a good indicator. If you don't know if you have a hooded eye or not, that's a hooded eye, okay? The other hooded eye is a not naturally born hooded eye. It's just given to you through age. And that hooded eye is probably the most frustrated hooded eye because it wasn't always there. So they're still beautiful and they're still workable. So this tip is really easy. One of my goals this year is to give you fast tips. I know I talk a lot and I have a lot of knowledge in my brain, so I want to try to break things down more simple and make my videos even shorter for you guys because I want you to get value out of these faster. So this tip is really simple. So I have some makeup on right now and I don't have a full hooded eye, so to speak. However, when I'm talking about eyes that are 40 and over, the skin is different, the texture of the skin is different, sometimes the eye is dropping, and just elasticity is different on the eye area. So I hear over and over again people with different skin types in that eye area want different tips. So okay, so let's get to it. So I always teach you that you want to apply your highlighter. Usually you can do your highlighter from your lid to your brow, okay? Typically speaking, you always highlight after you do your eyeshadow under your brow bone. This is your brow bone right here. So one of the things you can do to make your eyes look less hooded or less pronounced in that area that maybe you have texturized skin, okay, would be not to use the highlighter. And let me show you what a highlighter looks like so you know what I'm talking about. You could have various different highlighters from me. One of the highlighters you could have from me, which is my personal favorite, is the Light Beam Liquid Eyeshadow. This would be considered a highlighter. The other thing you could have as a highlighter is my other favorite is Biscotti Chroma Fusion Eyeshadow, or you could even have Candlelight eyeshadow. You can see it's one of my favorites. So those would all be considered highlighters. They're a fleshy toned eyeshadow color. So that's what a highlighter would look like in an eyeshadow form. You can also use your highlighter that you would use in your cheeks on your eyes, okay? So typically speaking, the tip I want to give you today is instead of putting that shimmery highlighter below your brow bone, let's pretend I'm just going to put some eyeshadow on real quick. I'm just going to put a little bit of eyeshadow on my eye crease. I'm going to go ahead and do a color that will show up on camera fairly well. I'm going to go ahead and do one of my favorite shadows is called Soft Heathers. And I'm just going to put it on my crease. I'm just using the all over shadow brush right through here. let's just pretend I'm doing my eyeshadow, and this is a matte color, okay? So that's another tip, is sticking to matte colors in your crease. If you're 40 and over, will really be a benefit for you if you have those concerns. If you don't have those concerns, there's nothing wrong with using a light shimmer in your crease. This is just if you're stressed out about it, okay? Now, after I do that eyeshadow, I would typically go ahead and put the Biscotti on my brow bone. Instead of doing that, I'm gonna take one of three things. I'm gonna go ahead and take either my pressed powder, so that's my pressed powder and my compact. You can use any of these options. I'm showing you all of them so you can utilize what you have in your drawer. The Mary Kay translucent powder. I love the translucent powder for this, and I'll show you why. I'm going to use that one, I think. Or you could even use your Mary Kay mineral powder foundation. I'm going to go ahead and use the Mary Kay translucent powder. I sifted it in the lid just like that. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go under my brow bone with the mineral powder. It just softens the skin without adding any color, and it does not make the eye appear more bright or more receded. So that way, if you have that brow bone that is more pronounced and you don't want it to look pronounced, then you don't want to put highlighter on it, because remember, highlighter is going to bring your eye forward more, right? It's going to bring it towards you. Think of your highlighter as wearing the white dress, okay? So you can just go ahead and put your translucent powder right under your eye, or you can go ahead and use the pressed powder right under your brow bone instead of using the highlighter. It will just help blend the makeup without adding that extra punch of brightness, okay? The second tip to this look is to go ahead and take the actual highlighter you would typically want to put through your brow bone and apply it above your eyebrows. I know I've showed you this before, but this is particularly really great for women over 40 that have these issues or concerns with their eye makeup, because I'm going to try to put it on heavier so you can see it. But if you apply this above your brow bone, you can see how it gives a beautiful little shimmer. But remember what it's going to do, it's going to pull your face up. It's going to help pull that eye up. And instead of adding any texturized look to your eye makeup, it's going to give this beautiful lift to your eye. So if you can see that right there, I just put it right above my brow bone. And the color I just used was the Candlelight. You could also use your liquid Light Beam eyeshadow. If you just put a little bit of it right there, I'm going to take the eyeshadow smudger brush and just go ahead and blend that right above my brows. So you really can use various different options that you have in your makeup drawer. That way you can find different ways to play with your makeup. And you can see, hopefully you can see the shimmer on this side better because of the lighting, but you can see it's a little softer with the Light Beam. So by doing it this way, it gives you a nice brightness, but a brightness that's pulled up higher on your face. So it pulls your face higher and your eyes up higher. So typically speaking, that is a great tip to keep the powder on your brow bone instead of a shimmery or even a whitish highlighter. And we'll talk about some more eye tips as the weeks come for 40 plus eyes, but try that. And I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, Donna. And let me know if that is a helpful tip, if you see a difference in your eye makeup, if you see a softness, if you see a definition difference, because powder does not sit in the lines and crevices that we sometimes can get in the texturized skin. So especially the translucent powder, it's very light and airy. It's milled 7 times. So it does not have that capability of like sinking into the things you don't want to see. So that's one of the reasons why it's such a great tip to do this way, and that way you don't pronounce that brow bone too much if that's one of your concerns. So if you guys have any questions, hello Vanessa. We've got somebody on from